Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua has actually been in the United States of America. And Rigathi Gachagua has been making various comments. And he has been selling this country overseas, what many people call negatively. And many political leaders in this republic have actually come out strongly and they have condemned the statements that Rigathi Gachagua is actually making in a foreign nation. And my worries is, what picture is Rigathi Gachagua betraying in the United States of America about Kenya as a country? Because sometimes when I listen to Rigathi Gachagua, the picture that Rigathi Gachagua is actually painting is that Kenya is a corrupt country, that the governance system in this republic is actually not working at all. And the president of this Republic of Kenya is a violator of human rights. So when I listen to Rigathi Gachagua, I feel as a Kenyan that is not what we ought to do in a foreign country. And sometimes I feel we are supposed to market this nation in a way which is acceptable, which can promote this nation for the investors, which can paint a picture that Kenya is heading forward. But having said all that, I can say that Rigathi Gachagua is actually a reflection of what we are. And recently, MUSALIA, who is the prime CS, came out strongly and condemned the sentiments of Rigathi Gachagua. He said Rigathi Gachagua is a man who is so tribal, is a man who is segmenting this nation. And before I continue further, please listen to what MUSALIA had to say about Rigathi Gachagua.
Tunataka tuwe nationals. Tunataka tuachane na ukabila. Tuepukane na ile siasa ya kugawanya watu kwa msingi wa kikabila. Juzi mumeona kwa runinga kila pahali, mmoja wetu hapa Kenya anaenda kule, anakashifu taifa lake, anakashifu wenyeji wake, anakashifu hata wale anazungumzia kikabila mpaka wenyewe wanachoka, wanamwambia ndugu, na huo ukabila umepita kiasi. Sasa unakuwa kiongozi wa taifa na unaenda na wewe ndio unakashifu taifa lako kwa njia ambayo defeats all reason and all logics kwa taifa la ng'ambo huko, to the extent that ukiongea, we don't know whether you are speaking as a security officer for the American government ama you are talking as a Kenyan. Kenya is a sovereign state. Kenya ni taifa ambalo tulipata huru zaidi ya miaka 60 iliyopita. Hatuwezi kuwa na kiongozi ambaye anasema he wants to lead the country and you are the one talking as if you are talking as a security or investigative officer of a foreign nation or a foreign authority. Please respect your country, respect your nation. That is what patriotism is all about. Hawezi ukaenda kule ndo unazungumza kiholela until we can only doubt your patriotism.
Having listened to that, it is unfortunate. That is actually what I can say. I can say that what Musalia Mudavadi is actually saying is the truth. That what Rigathi Gachagua is doing outside the country, what Rigathi Gachagua is painting about this country is unfortunate. But who is Rigathi Gachagua? Rigathi Gachagua is a Kenyan. And what he is actually doing outside there is a reflection of what our political leaders are. Many people have called Rigathi Gachagua as a tribalistic person. And that is probably very true. But in this Republic of Kenya, tell me which political leader is not tribalist in nature. Because if you come to this nation, you can think that we have various blocks where we have several kingpins from those blocks. If you go to the Western Kenya, you will hear that the kingpins of Western Kenya is Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula. If you go to Mount Kenya, you will hear that the kingpin of Mount Kenya is not other than Rigathi Gachagua. If you go to Ukambani region, you will hear people say that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is the kingpin. If you go to the Gusii Nyanza, then you will hear that Fred Okengo Matiang'i is the kingpin of the Gusii nation. And even if you go to Mombasa, you will hear something of that nature. What does that mean? It means that Rigathi Gachagua is a reflection of our leaders in this nation. And what Rigathi Gachagua is actually doing, the sentiment or sentiments that Rigathi Gachagua is voicing outside there, it can also be done or be made by any political leader or leaders in this nation, because our political leaders are actually tribal in nature. And that is why sometimes it is very easy that sometimes you will find one political leader actually pointing fingers at another political leader, calling him tribal. But if also you look at that political leader who is calling the other that he is tribal, you will also find that that leader is also very tribal and is even tribal to the core. And that is why we have kingpins in various regions in this republic. Where did Rigathi Gachagua learn that manners from? Because if we could be patriots of this nation, and if our top leaders could be people who never knew anything called tribalism, then I don't see where the likes of Rigathi will actually come from. Because sometimes I feel that Rigathi Gachagua has learned everything he is doing in the United States from top political leaders in this nation. We are forgetting that last time we were saying that President William Samoei Ruto is also quite tribal, that he is a tribal kingpin of the Rift Valley. So, Rigathi Gachagua actually learned from his boss, who we call William Samoei Arap Ruto. And also you will find William Samoei Arap Ruto learned his politics probably from President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, the late. And also he learned from Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is why sometimes we say William Samoei Arap Ruto is he has learned his fine politics from the late Moi and the current leader of opposition, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. So it is actually very true that the impeached deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, is doing disservice to the Kenya as a public outside there. But can we blame him alone? Because the politics that Rigathi Gachagua is actually practicing is the politics we all practice in this nation. And it is the politics which makes any political leader to climb up the ladder. Because practically, it will be very difficult for you to climb the ladder of politics until you become the president of this republic, if you are not a tribal leader. Because they say you must first consolidate the so-called your background, the so-called your region, the so-called your tribe to be behind you. Then you can move outside your region to seek for the following, or to seek to be assisted by other tribes so that you can be the president of this republic. And that means that the Kenyans, we are tribal. And that means we cannot blame Rigathi Gachagua. And we must all resist from being tribalist or tribalist. We must all know that for Kenya to be very successful, then tribalism must be behind us for us to move forward. And last time, the Gen Zs tried to say that they are tribalist. But is that true? Is there something which is called Gen Z, which actually will revolutionize this nation? I don't agree with that. Because currently, the way I see the Gen Zs have grouped themselves, I can say that they have been trapped in a tribalistic nature of politics. And that is why you will find that some of the Gen Zs are supporting probably Musalia Mudavadi. Others are supporting William Samoei Ruto. Others are supporting Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka because they come from the same region. Others, they support Rigathi Gachagua. So, The Gen Zs who people used to think that they are going to revolutionize this nation, that was just a passing crowd. It is not there. And sometimes I say that was actually a mirage. It was not there in the first place, because all of us, we have been trapped in our tribal cocoons. What is your say about the sentiments of RIGATHI GACHAGUA in United States of America? Do you think that was right to be made by RIGATHI GACHAGUA? Do you think we need to be more patriotic to our nation? Do you think the tribalistic nature we are practicing is going to make Kenya to move forward? Please drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to pump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute or two and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a thumb up. Share the video to your friends. Hit the notification bell so that at any moment we come up with any political discussion, then YouTube can be in the position to notify you so that you can watch the content. And with that, I say thank you, and may God bless you all abundantly until we meet in our next political discussion. Goodbye.